Hello again. Welcome back. Another night. Haven't vlogged the last 2 nights. I think 2 nights. Been busy with work. Tonight I was actually wanting to talk about if I know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get a little deep tonight. Wanted to kind of talk about passions. I guess it's kind of one of the reasons this blog was even created in the first place. Was I wanted to discuss my passions, and I wanted to discuss, and that's why I tend to talk a lot too. Have you noticed? My last couple sessions, I tend to ramble on a little bit. And it's not so much that I'm nervous as much as these are things that I'm really passionate about. So it's a little hard for me to talk about, but I want to do it. So that's what we're gonna do today, if that's okay with you guys. If not, then just turn off video. As I said before, my name is Tyler Anthony. I'm 23 years old. I was born in Banbury, England. I know that accent thing comes back and forth. I try not to. I'm sorry, guys. I do have a bit of an accent, but it only comes up when I'm either really tired, nervous, or a lot of times I don't notice it, but when I'm talking to myself, it'll come out, and I don't notice it until my girlfriend pointed it out to me. And you have, sometimes your accent comes out in the videos, and I don't mean to. It's a bit weird. I'm sorry. Raised all over. Like I said, born in Banbury, England. Lived in Germany for just a little bit. Lived in D.C., Oregon, Idaho, Washington. So all over. People know me. I've always wanted to be a writer. I have a lot of creative ideas I've always loved. I've done short stories. I love doing them. I actually had a laptop a while back. My dad bought me, and I was actually writing a novel until my laptop got stolen. Yeah, it got stolen by some people. Broke into my apartment and stole it, so that kind of sucked about a year and a half, 2 years ago. So I haven't got around to buying a new one. I need to. It's stupid of me. I feel dumb because I've spent money in other places I should have spent on a laptop because I miss writing. I have a lot of stories I want to create, a lot of ideas in my head that I've always really wanted to put on paper and share. The thing about, I've always been told I have a really large imagination, and I really do. That's not me trying to brag. That's me saying it's kind of sucks because I view things very differently. I tend to imagine a lot of things, a lot of worlds, a lot of creativity, a lot of ideas in my head, and I really wish I could put it on paper sometimes and come up with it. It's not easy because it's funny because like there'll be issues that my peers, like simple issues that my peers will understand done, and I'll admit I sometimes can't understand them because I make them into these giant problems. But then these large, huge problems and issues that I notice, like my friends struggle with or family members struggle with, these huge issues, like I see it easy. I don't know why, and I'm able to handle that. And I don't really know why that's so. I don't know if it's just my way of thinking, but it's just weird. I've worked in retail a lot of my life. Started off, technically kind of worked since I was 15 years old. So I'm 23. Started working 15. I think since I was 15, the longest I went without a job was theoretically like 2 months. Yeah, I think 2 months. I've been fired from, technically I've only been fired from 2 jobs. One job I don't believe I really should have been fired from. Actually, both jobs I don't believe I should have been fired from. I know one of them. Actually, God, I feel there's both of them. There was different reasons, but the base reason was I didn't get along with the manager. Granted, some of that was my fault. I should have listened more to that manager, but I didn't agree with their way of managing, and it bit me in the butt, and it got me fired. I've been laid off from one job just because it was slow season. I have left 2 or 3 jobs I've left just because I didn't need the money or that wasn't worth my time. I will say every job had a learning experience. There was a lot of bad issues, and I'll say definitely I've had some really bad jobs, that's for sure. But you can't look at it that way. You got to look at it as everything you learned. And I will say, since my very first job, I'll say right now I worked in fast food. I'm not going to say the company because I don't want to deal with it, but I still have people that remember me from there who I used to serve, and they still come and talk to me at my new job, and they were like, "Hey, how you doing? You know, we miss you. You were so great at this, or you were fan." And to me, that makes me feel happy, and that's one of my passions. Is I love helping people. I love bringing joy to people and making them happy and doing the best I can to make someone happy, and that's what I try to do. So I talked with creativity, and I'm telling you my passion, like helping people. I would love to express a lot of that passion into my writing. I'd love to show people and bring joy to people's hearts when they read it. I'd love to help make people who feel weird or feel out of place feel better and feel safer by reading my stories. I would love people to feel like they're not alone, because I'm someone who deals with depression on occasion. It sucks, and I know I have friends that deal with depression as well. We kind of we try to help each other out the best we can, but it's not easy some days. Going in the back with writing, I love stories. I also have been told I'm really good at acting, and I love it. I've done a musical. I've done a few little short plays as well. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I would love to continue that. I actually have goals wanting to be an actor one day, and maybe even progress that to being a director. So I can create things and put things and view things the way I see it in my head, because that would be amazing to me, in my opinion. So I would love to be able to write, maybe become a director. Kind of want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be able to one day own my own company to do the directing, a production company. Maybe own a couple other companies to do a series of other tasks or jobs, and I don't want to get into it at the moment, but because I don't. If we got into that, would take. There's no way I could get that done in a video tonight, so that would just take too long. But I want to basically. The reason I want to get into all this is I want to change the world. I would love to help start better systems in place to help so people wouldn't be homeless. I would like it to help to start systems so people wouldn't go hungry. A couple of years ago, I dealt with a situation like that. I know that money can be tight, and sometimes it's hard to survive. I wouldn't say that I was the poorest of the poor, because I was never that, but I will say there was days where I didn't know if I was going to be able to afford to put a slice of pizza or to afford a cup of noodles in my house or anything like that, and it was hard. I remember at one point a couple years ago, I spent nights in my car in the parking lot of my job in the winter because I didn't have a place to go, and it's not fun. And I remember trying to find places to live, but because I wasn't a drug addict, because I wasn't a single mom, because I wasn't a migrant worker, there wasn't that many options for me. There wasn't options for me, and it sucked. So it's not easy, and it definitely gives me an anxiety. It stressed me out, and it made me very depressed, not being able to, survive. So I honestly would love to become so powerful, full of money, that I could change the balance of that. Now, there will always be people who choose to live on the streets because, honestly, they'd rather do it that way than to live in civil society. But there's a lot of people who want to be a functioning member of society. There's a lot of people who want to get, work in the community, but they don't get that offer. They don't get that chance because of either forces in life or because of just issues around them and their environment. It stops them. And I would like to be able to stop that and prevent that and help them. I'd love to be able to have enough money to start low-income housing better, to start programs to help clean up streets and to help clear danger and all that stuff. I would really love to do that. That's going back to me wanting to help people. Love to work on science discoveries and help put money towards discovering cures for diseases and cancer and all that stuff, because that's the real painkiller right there, is having family members that are sick, and that's not easy either. It's not. Um, I have a lot of goals with that. I really want to change that way. And I know these are goals that I'm looking at down the road, and to get there is not easy. I mean, if I were to sum up all my credit card bills, all my, my car payment, I'm roughly $10,000 in debt. Now, I don't have bad credit, which is kind of cool because I have never made a late payment. I've always been on time. But when you have $10,000 in debt, it gets hard. Now, that's not all credit cards. That's, like I said, I just said brand new car. I had to buy this last year because my car broke down and I needed a new car, so I bought a car. So a car and credit card debt, it's hard. And that's the thing, is I want to be able to start writing again. I want to be able to start leaning towards making more movies and getting an ability to make special effects and change things and do things. Networking, I've been told I'm fantastic at that. And what this thing is where I'm at, there's so many great opportunities to do networking, and I really am trying hard to work on that. There's a Comic-Con here in Yakima I used to be a part of. I sadly not much involved with it anymore. There's pros and cons to that. It makes me sad, but it is what it is. There's a lot of opportunities to change the world and help people right here where I'm living, and I am trying so hard to do it, but it gets hard because you have to work to survive, and when you're living paycheck to paycheck. When tonight my vacuum broke and I got depressed because I don't have the money to go buy a vacuum. I don't have the money to go buy a new vacuum when my vacuum broke tonight, so I can't clean my house. I can't vacuum. And it sucks, and I don't want to have to deal with that. I want to be able to change that. I know people have told me, go back to college and do that. And college is something I would love to do, but college is so expensive these days. I know people who are doing college and they barely can afford anything in their life. Like they have to live in a place where they have 6 roommates and work 2 jobs just to do college. And the thing is I want to do college. I think I could learn a lot from college, but at the same time, there's a lot of things I could do right now to change my life, and I'm trying to do that. I hope one day that I can. I really do. I hope one day that I can change the world for the better. I want people to treat each other better. I want people to be happier. I don't want people to have to go to work and in fear of losing their job every day because maybe there's people in charge that bully them, or there's people in charge that harass them. And it sucks because someone like me who lives paycheck to paycheck, I lose my job, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be searching for another job like crazy, but it's not easy. It's really not. And it sucks because you see people who skate by under the radar because they don't do anything to get themselves noticed, but they just hide in the background and somehow they get all the perks of having a job, where others like myself or others I know will work really hard and bust their butt to change things and make things better, help everybody, to help people, to make things better for the place you work at. I tell the people I work with, when they're like, oh, thank you for helping me, most people don't help, and you really did. And I tell them, we're a team. In our store, we're a team. We have to work together to help each other because God knows no one else is. I mean, yes, when you're working in retail, you got to always help the customer, but you got to help your fellow associate. Why? Because if not, you're going to go crazy. And a lot of times that working retail is not a solo job. In small quantities, maybe. In a large store, doing it solo is just not possible, because if you do it solo, you're going to become either really bitter and start cutting corners in ways that hurt other people, or you're going to start becoming something else entirely, and you might lose yourself in what you're doing. Some days I really do think I need to get out of retail. I mean, I enjoy parts of it. I love helping the customer. I really do. But I I have so much ideas in my head that I wish they weren't going to waste sometimes, you know. That was my deep part of this. I appreciate it, guys, for listening. And was one of my Christmas gifts from my girlfriend's brother. Awesome, cool mug he got me. Thank you, Richie. So I mean those are kind of my deep goals, and there's some other ones that are along that line, but those are what I really want to do. I want to when I was talking about writing novels, the other cool thing I actually really want to do is I actually have a couple storylines in my head. I've always wanted to write for Marvel Comics. I have no idea how to go about that. No idea, but I would love to sit down with some executives or sit down with some artists and help me create the storyline, because I have some ideas that I think could be fantastic for Marvel in the comics. I had created my own heroes, created my own events, created my own storylines, and just, you know, hard to do. Don't know who to talk to, right? With the right people. It's how life is, right? You gotta know people. Yeah, I would love to write for comic books. I'm a big nerd, big geek. Yeah, other stupid goals would be like meeting the executives and getting a tour of Marvel, like meeting Stan Lee and everyone. That would be, oh my gosh, amazing. Also, since I think last episode I talked about Power Rangers, I would love to be, like, if I was rich, I would love to have so much Power Ranger memorabilia. To meet all the original Power Rangers. I met Jason David Frank. I would love to talk to him again and actually get one-on-one time with him to talk about Power Rangers, talk about his ideas on stuff. Love to meet everyone from the show. I really would. That would be one of, like, I would die in happiness to meet everyone from Power Rangers. And even to look at the old Super Sentai, to have a lot of the costumes. I do a little bit of cosplay, not much, sadly, because I'm poor. But I would love to have some badass cosplay. I'd love to meet Chris Evans, because I think he's just made Captain America fantastic, and I've always loved Captain America. I even cosplay as Captain America sometimes. And Chris Evans would be amazing. Chris Pratt, oh my god, my girlfriend teases me all the time that I love Chris Pratt. I think Chris Pratt's amazing. But those are just some, you know, not really goals, I should say, but would be amazing if that could happen, just to meet those people, just to, you know, maybe one day be able to be famous enough to do that. I don't know. Those are dumb goals, but those are ones that gives me a smile on my face. You know, when you're looking down a long tunnel of stress, a long tunnel of deep emotions, it's nice to look at something that's comedic or something that puts a smile on your face, because it helps you get through those long nights. I really do appreciate you guys listening to me. Tomorrow night, I am going to try and blog a little bit with my D&D group, where I can actually host. I'm hosting, I should say. I'm hosting in my apartment for the first time, so that'll be awesome. I'm so excited to have my D&D group over here. I don't think I'm going to stream the session, because those sessions are like 9-hour sessions. There's no way. But I will stream parts of it, or record funny parts of it, or simply just do something with the group. But I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night. Thank you for listening to me tonight. Thank you for watching the whole video. I love you all, and I hope you guys have a good night. And as always, stay classy.